The fundamentalist argument disappears. The Republican article disappears.
Oh, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, all of that disappears. It's just, oh no, no more paddling. No more paddling. No more paddling.
It's a problem.
It becomes a problem.
It is a
because
problem.
it's just black men and little white girls on the receiving end. I mean, first of all, if that were the case, that phenomena were the case, I mean, paddling would have been over long before anyone alive today's time. It would never happen. But because it is predominantly done to blacks, minorities, poor whites, and special ed children in all 21 states, everybody's confused as to, should we ban it? Should we keep it? Should we modify it?
And you know, it's amazing, Paula. When I mention to people that there are 21 states that is still practicing this punishment, they're amazed.
They are.
They are amazed because it's been banned in California for how long?
Since '87.
Since '87, and the Californians automatically think that it's banned all over America, but it's not. It's not. There's still 21 states that practice this punishment. Yeah. We got to get together, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so, Paula, what can be done?
Well, I'm going to tell you a couple of little things that could be done. The phone number and the phone numbers and the contact person in your district. Again, the contact person to report violation of Title IX in your district is the Title IX coordinator. Okay, and that usually is the assistant superintendent. In this case, is Walter Jackson in Robson County. And again, going to the Office of Civil Rights. Now, the other thing is just speaking up, calling. If you go to my website where it says volunteers needed, you will be able to be in, you'll have access to help that I need to get this word out about Title IX and about paddling at all, any paddling. And so there's no reason for anybody to sit and be quiet and just to hear this and then go and turn a deaf ear. These children need your help. I need your support to make this happen. It's not okay. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind also is that most of the paddling done in this country is in the rural neighborhoods. You're not going to find paddling in any big cities. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, people in big cities have good jobs that pay well, and they're not tolerating a teacher beating their child's behind.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Another reason, people in big cities tend to have more education than people in rural towns.
Right.
And they're educated, and they know the harm, and they're not going for it. People in rural towns tend to either have less education and therefore lack the confidence that it takes to go to a teacher or to a school and say, I want you to stop this.
Right.
So basically the people in authority know this about poor people and poor uneducated people. Especially if you have a little white boy named Johnny who lives in a big city and his dad is a dentist, Johnny's butt won't be paddled, but little Joey, who's living with his grandmother and she's poor and uneducated, he'll get a paddling. So it's done in a discriminatory way. Now, I am going to take this advice on this leaflet here. It says, the person or organization filing the complaint need not be a victim of the alleged discrimination. I am intending on filing a suit and a complaint against the school system because children are discriminated against. Girls are being discriminated against because they have to divulge personal information or they have to risk the discomfort and pain and possibility of losing a baby if they have to tell the teacher that they're pregnant or that they're on their cycle.
Wow.
That's discrimination right there.
So private.
Now, think about this. Paddling is done mostly to black boys in this country, or other minorities, and poor, and special ed. That's discrimination. Now, listen to how I think this is discrimination. If paddling is really good for you, then all of those nice white kids are missing out on something that's good for them, that would build their character and make them better people. So the discrimination file I want to file is these white people, all of these white kids from rich homes, and educated families are missing out on the benefit of being paddled, which is going to make them a better person. So they're being discriminated against. But then on the other hand, if it's not good for you, which science has proven this, okay, but let's say if it's not, then all the black kids and the minorities and the special ed are being discriminated against because they are getting it way more than twice the time, the occasions that it's given. They get it way more than people who are white and who have money. Now, I don't want anybody to get it. But the fact of the matter is the facts show black boys are #1 to receive it. Black girls, other minorities, including Native Americans, and if you do any research, you'll find many Native Americans are alcoholics, are in rehabs, all kinds of things. I think they've been beaten down enough, don't you?
Yeah, there's a long-term effect that goes along with this punishment. Yeah. It's a very long-term effect. Yeah. And that's what we're tapping on right here with the hitting stops here.
That's right.
It's got to stop here, folks.
Yeah.
It's got to stop. So, you know, the things that can be done, you've tapped on a few of them.
Yeah.
What else can be done, Paula, as far as people in the communities that this is still going on?
Okay, the people in the communities, those of you living in rural cities, okay, in rural towns, you need to recognize that you are the people who are still receiving this, okay? The other part of the world where there is civilization inside the schools, where people are using positive discipline methods, talking to children, teaching them to be leaders, problem solvers, independent thinkers. That's what you want for your children. You think that beating them and humiliating them and causing pain, blame, and shame is the answer. It is not. That's old school. It didn't even work in old school, but it was old school.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. And it's not fair for the children of parents who have less income and who are in towns where their parents may not have the education that these other kids in the bigger cities have. It is discrimination that they are being beaten and paddled, and the district offices, they're educated. The superintendent is educated in Robeson County. He's Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt. Yeah. That means he has a doctorate.
His child's not getting paddled.
I bet his child's not getting paddled because if he has a doctorate, he knows paddling isn't good for you. Don't you know that, Johnny Hunt? Yeah. I mean, come on. So the thing is that as long as Mr. Deese and all his other board members continue to allow this in the small town, they're basically just being nothing more than bullies. You know it's wrong, you know it needs to stop, and it is discrimination against the poor, because if you were in Raleigh, you wouldn't be allowed to do it, and you know it. And I hope that Superintendent of Education, June Atkinson, okay, that's Miss June Atkinson, I hope she will gather all of the district board members and superintendents and sit down and talk to them. She's already disclosed that she is against corporal punishment. She's already said that. Now I ask you to go a step further, Miss Atkinson, and draw all of the district leaders, the board members, the superintendents, and sit down and say, let's get caught up with 21st century America.
You just called her out, Paula.
I am.
You are calling that Miss Atkinson's out.
I am.
You're calling her out.
I am. I am calling you out, Miss Atkinson, and I'm calling you out because you appear to be a woman of integrity. You said you're not for it. Now use your power as a superintendent above all superintendents. Bring the gang together, sit down, and come to the conclusion that this is criminal behavior, and lawsuits will start flying at you if you do not stop it. I am already filing discrimination, and I will win one way or the other, because again, you're either discriminating against the kids who are rich, who are white, and who are not being paddled and getting this necessary type of punishment that you think is so needed, and they're missing out on the benefits of what paddling can do, or you're discriminating against the blacks and the minorities and the special ed who are receiving something that is harmful and damaging and will mess up their right and their ability to pursue happiness. as adults, and that's their constitutional right. I'm asking you to step up to the plate and protect the children in your care. Thank you.
You heard it, folks.
That's all I got to say.
You said it, Paula. Thank you very much. Glad you could have me, Paula.
Thank you, Tebow, for being out here.
You're welcome.